It was a typical Saturday night when we decided to explore the old Oakridge Hospital, rumored to be haunted and abandoned for decades. My friends Jake, Sarah, Emily, and I had always been thrill seekers. Armed with flashlights, we entered the decaying structure, its once sterile walls now blanketed in graffiti and mold. The air inside was thick with dust. Every step echoed ominously through the empty corridors. We joked to keep our spirits up, but an unsettling feeling hung over us, as if the hospital itself were watching. Our flashlights revealed old patient rooms, the beds rusted and curtains tattered. We ventured deeper, the temperature dropping with each step. "Guys, look at this," Sarah called, pointing to a heavy metal door with strange symbols carved into its surface, unlike the rest of the wooden doors. It wasn't on any blueprints we had found online. Curiosity piqued, we pushed it open, revealing a dark, narrow staircase leading down. "Should we go in?" Jake asked, a hint of excitement in his voice. "Of course," I replied, trying to mask my own apprehension. "That's why we're here, right?" As we descended, the air grew colder and an unnatural silence enveloped us. The staircase ended at another door, which was unlocked. We exchanged uneasy glances before pushing it open. Inside was a large circular room. The walls were covered in strange, pulsating symbols that seemed to move in the dim light of our flashlights. In the center of the room was an old, rusted hospital bed, its mattress stained and torn. The air was filled with a low humming sound. "What the hell is this place?" Emily whispered, her voice trembling. "I don't know," I replied, "but I don't like it. Let's get out of here." As we turned to leave, the door slammed shut, and the symbols on the walls began to glow with an eerie blue light. The humming grew louder, filling our heads with a disorienting noise. Panic set in, and we rushed to the door, but it wouldn't budge. We were trapped. "Help! Someone help us!" Sarah screamed, pounding on the door. "It's no use," Jake said, his voice shaking. "No one can hear us down here." Suddenly, the bed began to move, and a figure appeared lying on it, covered in a tattered sheet. We watched in horror as the sheet slowly slid off, revealing a gaunt, pale figure with hollow eyes and a sinister grin. "Welcome," the figure croaked. "I've been waiting for you." "Who are you?" I demanded. "I am Dr. Blackwood," the figure replied, "the last resident of this hospital, and you, my dear guests, are here to join me." "No, we're leaving," Emily shouted. Dr. Blackwood let out a chilling laugh. "This hospital is alive, and it needs new souls to sustain itself." The walls seemed to pulse, the symbols growing brighter, and the chanting became deafening, a cacophony of voices in an ancient language. "We have to find another way out," Jake said. "There has to be another exit." We searched frantically, but every corner seemed to close in on us. It was as if the hospital itself were playing with us, leading us deeper into its dark embrace. "Here," Sarah found a small ventilation shaft. "We can use this." One by one, we squeezed into the shaft. The chanting followed us, growing louder. As we crawled, the metal walls seemed to close in, making it harder to breathe. Finally, we emerged into a dimly lit hallway. The symbols glowed faintly on the walls. We ran, desperate to find an exit, but the hospital was a labyrinth, twisting and turning, leading us in circles. Every door we tried was locked, every corridor a dead end. It was as if the hospital were toying with us, enjoying our fear. The chanting grew louder, and the walls pressed in closer. "We can't keep running," I gasped. "We have to face it." "But how?" Emily asked. "I don't know," I admitted, "but we have to try." We retraced our steps back to the room where it began. Dr. Blackwood was waiting, his eyes glowing. "You cannot escape," he hissed. "No," I said, stepping forward. "We don't belong to you. We won't let you take us." The symbols flared and the chanting reached a fever pitch. The hospital shook as if in rage, but we stood our ground. With a final deafening roar, the hospital seemed to collapse around us. When the dust settled, we found ourselves back in the entrance hall, the door to the outside world wide open. "We made it," Jake said. "But at what cost?" I wondered, looking back at the building. As we walked away, I couldn't shake the feeling that we had left a part of ourselves behind in that cursed place. The hospital had let us go, but its memory would haunt us. Deep inside, I knew it would call us back.